I'll bring it up on mine.
Can I start? I'd like to welcome everyone to the Village of Northfield regular council meeting of July 11, 2018. Carol, rise for the pledge, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mayor Diaz,
Here.
Mr. Magistrelli,
Here.
Mr. Scher,
Here.
Ms. Domzalski, here, Mr. Hips,
Here.
here, Mr. Wojtusz,
Here.
Mr. Bryan,
Here.
Mr. Wasaski,
Here.
Chief Solgus, Chief Buss, and Mr. Walters will be at the next meeting, and I am present.
Okay, sorry about that. Can we get the approval of the minutes? Pass on that one. Presentation. Do we have anyone in the audience tonight that has anything to address us? Either myself, council, or department heads?
Yeah,
Yes,
first,
sir.
I think we have two representatives from the rubbish and recycling companies that submitted bids. I think they just want to introduce themselves and give some remarks.
We'll do that right after anyone else in the
Okay.
audience. Okay, at this time we have two people that would like to speak on behalf of their companies.
Thank you, Harold.
Small pamphlet you guys can follow along with.
You like that?
My name is Vince Crawford.
Yes, please press the silver button right there. There you go.
All right, Red. Vince Crawford. I'm with Waste Management. I'm the public sector representative. I've been with the company for 18 years now. And I cover all the area of Northeast Ohio and some other parts for all the municipalities that we service. So like currently Twinsburg and Oakwood and Maple Heights are customers that I work with, as well as any prospective bids that come out, just as this bid here. So I just put this little packet together just to give you a little brief overview of waste management and what we have to offer, to service the village according to the specification that we turned in. And looking at that, we had the lowest bid. We're hoping that you would give us the opportunity to be your service provider yet once again. We are just located 4 miles away in Glen Willow. Right around the corner, we have a fleet of new compressed natural gas trucks. So we're ready to start on day one of this contract. We have no problems. We have the extra equipment, we have the people, and we'll be ready to go. The benefits on the second page that we list out of what we submitted with our proposal is that we are a local hauler, servicing the area. We've been here for over 30 years. We'd actually once previously serviced the village back in early 2000. We were the service provider here. With the upgrades of service, we'll be providing new carts, clean carts, at no cost to the residents with our bid proposal. The service day would stay the same. We plan on doing it on Tuesday. That's when we service the city of Twinsburg as well. So we have a lot of trucks in this area. Obviously, we'd have 2 trucks dedicated to your community, but that way we have a lot of backup as well right here to keep the service all the same, no change for the residents, because we know that residents don't like change.
We
With our
have
service,
half-
we have a split
yeah.
service, Mondays on one side, Tuesdays
Oh,
to
you
the
do?
west.
Okay.
Yes.
I guess I missed the west side piece, so that's probably something we could work in then with Oakwood if need be, because that's where we service Oakwood on Mondays as well, so I have to get with the district manager about that. Obviously, we do have, again, the compressed natural gas truck. That's a nice clean burning truck. It's actually much quieter than a diesel truck, so that's a benefit as well. Technology that we offer, it's one thing that Waste Management is big on, is we want to make sure that we're keeping up with technology. You don't think of our industry as that, but we're really moving forward with a lot with our trucks. We have computers in there, we got GPS tracking, but the big piece for the village is we're able to communicate with the resident. We have online bill payment. You set up your account just like an Amazon account. We can communicate with you via email. You can have a mobile app if you would like. That's all in the preference of the resident, but we're also able to send out messages via the phone line, cell phone and home phone if there's a weather delay, or to remind them that the holiday's coming. Last week, July 4th, if that were to affect them, we send out a reminder message, hey, your collection day is going to be a day behind. And then our landfill, American landfill, it's actually one of the things I'm pretty proud about. It's certified by the Natural Habitat Wildlife Council, so there's areas that have gone back to the pristine areas of where there's actually bald eagles living in there, wildlife as it should be. And then additionally, we have a gas to energy plant on that landfill. So as a solid waste decomposes, we're able to capture that methane, harness it, and turn it into reusable energy. And then we also own the Akron Green Star MRF. That's where all the recycling is processed. That's our facility down in Akron. So the recyclables that we'll be able to pick up here in the village, we'll be able to take care of that through the remainder of the contract. And then I just gave a quick summary of the bids, how they came in, and that our price over the 5-year average for all the services is the best price for the residents. And Kimball had the best price if the residents were to choose to take the curbside recycling program, but obviously that's a pretty big price differential, and so that's why our proposal was to give you the service that you have right now, just include the cart for free. And then the last 3 pages, or actually I think it's the last 6 pages, I took 3 pictures of your community on trash day, a couple of streets as the trash fits out, and then the remaining pictures, that's the city of Seven Hills that we service. Because this is the big thing with the carts is you get the benefit of the curb appeal. Your community looks so much better on trash day when everything is uniform and all the carts are lined up beforehand and even after. Now, there's going to still be the resident that will have an extra trash can, or they're going to have their bulk item. That's still going to get collected, but the overall appearance looks much better. And we have a lot of years of experience with the carts. Again, even just like Twinsburg, that program started 5 years ago. 90% of those residents, they figure out, because it's a lot easier to roll that cart down just once as opposed to dragging 2 or 3 cans or that extra bag. That material, it ends up getting in the cart. So I appreciate your time tonight. Look forward to talking to you guys in the future.
Hey, I was just wondering about one thing. What if I have a door that I'm pulling out of my laundry room and I throw it out there and it's not going to fit in that container of yours?
Just like with your regular trash can today, it's not going to fit in there. You put it next to it, we're going to collect it on the same trash day.
Do you need, one last question, sorry. Do you need special notifications for like hot water tanks, sofas, mattresses, stuff like that?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Do they have to be, like the company we have now, they would like mattresses wrapped and things
Yes.
like that? Do we have to do that for
The
your company
mattresses
also?
do need to be wrapped. That is
Okay.
correct. Yeah, and that's for the health and welfare of the employee.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next.
Hello, Sarah Matthews with Rumpke Waste and Recycling. I am your current municipal sales representative. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to service your community. We are finishing our second contract with your community. We are not necessarily the lowest bid at this point in time, but I would like still to encourage you to take into consideration lowest and best. We do appreciate the opportunity to bid this time, given the array of options you've given. We were the only bidder to bid the program as you have it now. I understand that every community is different. There's not a cookie cutter solution to every community. Residents like what they're doing. They usually like to keep what they're doing, not necessarily wanting any change. So we are very shy of being the lowest bidder given this current program. Over the 5 years, the difference is $9,625.90 to keep your program as is, residents doing the program the way they're doing, and on the current days. If you don't know, we are family owned, we are family operated. We have been in existence since 1932. We are headquartered out of Ohio. We do have a call center in Ohio. My office is in Broadview Heights. We are very local. We have a driver that lives in Northfield that has worked for our community, our company for 30 years. So I do feel that we are close, local. We may not be as close as Waste Management. However, it's never impeded us from delivering service to your community. I welcome any questions you may have for me in regards to the bids.
If we were to go with recycling, whose MRF do you use?
We use a combination of two. We also use Waste Management's Green Star facility in Akron because of the fact that it is a closer proximity. My closest MRF is in Columbus, Ohio. But we use a combination of the two depending on the volume for the day, who has what material, and then we truck to the appropriate location.
Anyone else have anything? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Mayor, if we want to stick on this topic, I think, I gave council information on the bids, and there's a lot of information to absorb, a lot of decisions to be made as far as whether we want to move to curbside recycling, keep things as they are, go to the carts, and I think we should, if we can, make a decision by the next council meeting as to which way we want to go, keeping in mind that the new contract will start October 1st. And so I don't know what council's pleasure is, Mr. Magistrelli, but I would recommend maybe we dedicate a work session to this issue. And I don't know if that's something everyone's available next week for, or.
Well, I talked to Mr. Hips earlier. We want to put together another work session. We can combine these. If we can do it next week, next Wednesday, I'm looking at everyone. Mr. Voitesh?
I'm looking now.
Okay.
We can talk about this.
Yes.
What time in the evening?
7 o'clock?
I prefer not to, but I can probably make it.
Okay, just let me know if you can't. Give us a couple days. We can change it. Is everyone okay with the time? 7 o'clock? Next Wednesday. This way, sorry about having all these work sessions, but we have so much to get accomplished. And okay.
July 18th, 2018, 7 o'clock, and the representatives are invited. So.
Mr. Magistrelli, is that something you also want to put in about the garbage collection for the commercial properties? Is that
Yes.
what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, there was a time we want to kind of get that straightened out.
Okay.
So they're not coming at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for coming, you guys.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Okay. Reports of municipal officers, the mayor doesn't have anything to report at this time. Finance Director, Ms. Ingracia.
Just to go over the items on the agenda for the evening, the tax budget is, an annual measure that we have to pass. It's a best guess of what is going to occur next year. It's not necessarily a set in stone, so we're required to pass it by the 15th, I believe. The second thing is the insurance renewal for liability. There was a 3% increase this year, mostly due to a couple of incidents that occurred with the police department vehicles, one of them being that chase that we had. We had damage to one of the cruisers for that. And then I think there was another winter accident. And then, of course, the chipper is going to increase our rates quite, not quite a bit, but it did increase our rates.
Yeah, it's about a total of $1,500 increase.
Right.
For the-
So that's that. And then regarding the unclaimed fund, uncashed check. Did you have a question? Oh, okay, you're just looking. That's a hotel conference stay for the clerk of court that was never cashed. So I'm just going to plop it where it needs to go because it's an older check. We'll hold on to it for a while until we can return it to the general fund. And then finally, the appropriation amendment for for dumpster rental. I talked to Harold about this today, and he said that that's based on tonnage. We don't really have any way of guessing that amount because people use the dumpsters that are not supposed to be. So, you know, it is what it is. I have, I think, 3 or 4 more bills coming through, so I'm hoping that's going to be enough, but who knows? So, unforeseen. And that's all.
Okay, moving on to the law director, Mr. Bryan. Or, I'm sorry, the engineer, Mr. Wasowski. I'm sorry, Rich.
It's okay. Ledge Road reconstruction, the entire north side roadway is now paved. It's 9-inch reinforced concrete. The majority of driveways are now completed. The remainder of driveways have been formed, and we will be pouring the remainder of driveways. It should be this Tuesday. We're scheduled to do that. Once they're done pouring the driveways, they're going to start on the north side, grading the front yards and the areas for the sidewalk and tree lawn, and then they'll put in the sidewalks. Then when the north side's basically completely done, they'll go and start the south side work in Macedonia. They're still ahead of schedule. I'm guessing the end of August we're going to be doing this. The president of the company expressed it about a month and a half ago that he thought he can get done by the end of the first week in August. I just can't see that happening. I'm looking more like the end of August, which will put him 2 months ahead of schedule. And Summit Soil and Water, MS4 facility pollution prevention reports. We had our June 6th inspection done. Jason and I were there with them. There are a number of items that they cited us for. Some were waiting on some materials that were ordered. They're not here yet, and some other ones we just had to correct. We didn't get fined anything, but I think the next time if we don't have these corrected, I think they can fine us anytime. That we stand a chance of getting fined for stuff. The biggest thing right now is down at the old treatment plant. If you've been down there, you notice all the dirt down there that we took off of the Ledge Road project and stored it down there. You can't leave that dirt sitting there for more than 7 days without moving it or reseeding it or putting mulch over it. Well, to me it's silly seeding it or putting mulch over it when we've been adding things to it every so often. So I'm hoping that at the end of our job on Ledge to do the final grading on it, and then we'll just reseed it one time. The other stuff, the salt bin problem, everybody, I mean every single community gets cited for salt bins. They want hay bales sitting in front of the salt bins. They can't get it through their heads that that salt we throw in the streets, and the salt goes into the catch basins, which eventually go into the streams. And they just don't take that into account. It's like it goes on the streets and it disappears into the air. And we're never going to win that battle. Nobody's going to win that battle. It's just that's the way they think on that particular item. But we'll take care of all the other stuff. I told Jason try to get it done by early September to get this stuff all the way. The Houghton Road reconstruction, State Route 8 traffic signals, I'm still working on that. We'll bid it in January. State Route 8 and Ledge Road traffic signal upgrading plans. We did receive the permit to install from ODOT. The project is currently being bid, advertised for bid. The bid opening is at 3 p.m. on Monday, July 23rd at the Village Hall. I'd like either Jason or Chris Weil to attend the bid opening with me. I recommend we...
What was the date again?
July 23rd. That's a Monday. 3 o'clock, Mayor. I would, and any of you are invited to come. I would recommend applying to the Summit County engineer to use the motor vehicle permissive license tax to pay our share of the project, which is 50%. OPWC is paying the other 50% of the $185,000 project. One of the people who took out plans emailed me, and we're giving the project 180 day completion. And he's saying the time to get poles now is 5 to 6 months after they're ordered. We can't order the poles until we drill the foundations. Once the foundations are drilled, then we remeasure the exact lengths needed and order the poles. So realistically, unless something changes with these pole companies, we're not going to have those poles in until February or so. One piece of good news, Union Metal is back in business making poles. They're not Union Metal anymore, but they're another company making the poles, so maybe we'll get something a little faster from them. Valmont's the other big pole company, and that's the one that gave them the 5 to 6 month lead time on this. There's a resolution tonight authorizing Euthenix to do the construction administration for the project. That's paid right now 50% by the state, pays 50% of that money. And the only other thing is, Tricia may not know that we're going to pass a resolution authorizing the engineering for the Victory Boulevard, Houghton Road catch basin repair.
We're gonna vote on that. We don't know if it's gonna pass.
Right, we're going to vote on it. I'm sorry, we're going to vote on it. Yeah, that's tonight. That's it. That's my report.
Brad, I'd like to make that motion.
Again, just to clarify the motion, it would be to authorize the engineering work in order to define the project and be able to get bids in an amount not to exceed $6,000, Rich? That's correct.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made by Mr. Domzowski, seconded by Mr. Voitush. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor of the motion?
Yes.
All opposed? Okay, the motion is adopted, and then the hope is by the next council meeting, we would have prices and we could authorize going forward with the project, as long as it's under $50,000.
Okay, does that conclude your report, Rich? Does that conclude your report? Okay. Now, moving on to the law director, Mr.
I'd like to
Bryan.
ask a question to Rich real quick.
Yes, absolutely, Mr.
Can we get a
Wojciech.
copy of the deficiencies report, please?
Yeah,
Thank you.
Lisa Rodriguez has the copies of it in her office, and I think Mayor, you got a copy of it too?
Yes.
Copy of that, yeah.
I would personally like a copy. I don't know about the rest of council, but it would be nice just to see.
Do you want me to send you an email?
That's fine.
Okay, Gary, can you email me your email address? Or
Sure.
give it to me.
N as in Nancy, V as in Victor, F as in Frank,
N?
NVFD 3500 at AOL.com.
At what?
AOL.
Oh, so that's N V D FD. Okay, NVFD 350 at AOL.com.
3500, Rich.
3500.
3500.
Do you not use your council account?
Oh yeah, you can send it to my council account. What am I thinking of?
Yes.
Okay, I
I'm
don't have
sorry.
your council account.
C2 at large.
I'll send it to you, Rich.
Send it to me.
Sorry about
Does
that.
anybody else want one? I'll just copy everybody. Okay, send me all of them. I'll email everybody. Okay.
Hey, that's okay.
Do a reply all to a council email. There you go.
Okay, does anyone else have anything of Rich? Hearing none, moving on. Mr. Bryan, law director.
Thanks, Mayor. Just clarification on the letter that I sent to everyone on the garbage bids. Waste Management's bid does include unlimited pickup, as we heard tonight. So it wasn't clear from the bid. Our specs required unlimited pickup for, or encouraged it. So just to be clarify, Waste Management's bid would be the same. I mean, you would be provided with a free container. You could put other items in your own can or outside the can to get picked up, and they'll pick up whatever needs to be picked up. So just that, I said that wasn't clear at the letter, but I did try to call Vince before the meeting and did have a chance to talk to him outside before the meeting. So just so everyone knows as far as that. And then I know, Mr. Magistrelli, you were discussing possibly canceling the first August council meeting for summer recess. I don't know if that's still the
Yes,
thought
sir.
of council. Okay, so
I'd
just,
like to make a motion.
okay. Motion by Mr. Magistrelli to cancel the first regular council meeting in August. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Noack. Any questions or discussion?
Why would we be getting rid of that meeting?
Just that we do that usually once a summer, just to give everyone a break. And
It's summer recess.
anybody else? All right, all in favor of the motion?
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Okay, maybe if we could indicate that on the website. And members of the press, distinguished press, we will not be meeting on August 8th. So, and that's all for my report, Mayor.
Okay, does anyone have anything for Brad? Hearing none, moving on. All department heads, police chief, fire chief, and service building superintendent will be our next regular scheduled meeting. Moving on to reports of municipal boards and commissions. Planning Commission, Mr. Hips.
No report this evening.
Recreation Board will be meeting tomorrow at 6:30 here in council chambers to discuss the movie in the park. Moving on to reports of standing committees, Mr. Magistrelli of Finance.
No report this evening.
Roads and Public Works, Mrs. Domzalski.
No report this evening.
Health and Welfare, Mr. Scher.
No report.
Wages and Working Conditions, Mr. Voitush.
No report, Mayor.
Fire and Safety, Mrs. Noack.
No report, Mayor.
Buildings and Grounds, Mr. Hips.
No report.
We're moving on to legislation now. Law Director, Mr. Bryant.
Thank you, Mayor. First, we have 2018-42, an emergency ordinance amending Chapter 864 of the Business Regulation Code relating to open-air food markets on second reading, and I would recommend that we proceed to a third reading on this next meeting, just to give a little more time for, in case anyone has any comments. So if no one has any objection, we'll put it on third reading next meeting. Next is 2018-43, an emergency resolution adopting the tax budget of the Village of Northfield, Ohio for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2019, and submitting the same to the county fiscal officer. And again, this is something that needs to be turned in to the fiscal officer by the 15th of this month. So my recommendation is we proceed with this legislation this evening.
Motion to skip the third reading?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Voitush to suspend the three reading rules, seconded by Mr. Magistrelli. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Is there a motion to pass?
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Mr. Hips to pass, seconded by Mr. Voitush. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of passage?
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Okay, the resolution is adopted. Next is 2018-44, an emergency resolution authorizing the mayor to contract for the village's insurance policies with Selective, Hanover, Cincinnati, and Hudson insurance companies through Wickert Insurance Agency. And again, that policy expires, I think, it's in the 13th, so,
Of this month,
yes.
July?
Motion to skip the three readings.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Magistrelli to suspend the three reading rules, seconded by Mr. Voitush. All in favor of the motion?
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Is there a motion to pass?
Motion for passage?
Motion to pass by Mr. Voitish, seconded by Mr. Magistrelli. Any discussion? All in favor of passage?
Yes.
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 All opposed? Resolution is adopted. Next, we have 2018-45, an emergency resolution authorizing the Director of Finance to transfer funds representing uncashed checks to the village's unclaimed fund. Is there a motion to suspend the three reading?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Magistrelli, seconded by Mr. Hips to suspend the three reading rule. All in favor of the motion?
Yes.
All opposed? Is there a motion to pass?
Motion to pass?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Noack to pass, seconded by Mr. Magistrelli. Any discussion or questions? All in favor of passage?
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Okay, the resolution is adopted. Next is 2018-46, an emergency resolution authorizing the purchase of a 2019 Ford Explorer along with the necessary equipment to outfit the vehicle for police department use.
Brad, I just would like to add here that the police department got rid of all of the remaining Crown Vics. They're all sold and they're all off of our property and out of our hands.
Right, and this is my understanding, it's my understanding that this was a budgeted item for this year and what is an expected purchase, so.
I also
I'll make-
have additional information from Chief Zolgis, because he was going to attempt to be here, but he had another meeting, that yes, the price went up from what he had planned originally, but it's still under the budget. And the reason why is because a lot of the incentives for the Ford went down. So that's the reason for the increase in the vehicle, but like I said, it's still under budget. And he is also having additional equipment added from the factory, because when they were looking outside to do it and have it installed, it was more expensive.
Right, so that'll save money with the outfitting, the outside work to outfit it.
I'd like to make a motion to skip the three readings.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Voitish to suspend the three reading rules, seconded by Mr. Magistrelli. All in favor of the motion?
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed?
Motion to pass?
Motion to pass by Ms. Noack, seconded by Mr. Magistrelli. Any,
Hips.
or Mr. Hips, sorry. Any discussion or questions? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed? The resolution is adopted. And next is 2018-47, an emergency resolution authorizing Euthenix Inc. to provide construction administration services and general field inspection for the State Route 8 and Ledge Road traffic signal upgrading project.
Move to suspend the three reading rule.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Hips, seconded by Mr. Magistrelli to suspend the three reading rule. All in favor of the motion?
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed?
Motion to pass.
Motion to
Second.
pass by Mr. Hips, seconded by Ms. Noack. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Okay. The resolution is adopted. And next is 2018-48, an emergency resolution authorizing certain amendments to the 2018 appropriation resolution and/or transferring items already appropriated in that resolution. Is there a motion to suspend the three reading rule?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Hips, seconded by Mr. Magistrelli. All in favor of the motion?
Yes.
Yes.
All
Yes.
opposed? Is there a motion to pass?
Motion to pass?
Second.
Motion by Ms. Noack, seconded by Mr. Hips to pass. Any discussion or questions?
May I ask a question? Is this, the dumpster rental, was that from the cleanup? Okay, we went over on the cost, because something tells me we already voted on the cleanup for that, for the dumpsters, or no? Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah,
You voted on paying the bill because it was over the mayor's spending authority, but now we have to make sure that we have the right appropriation for it.
Okay, thank you.
okay. All in favor of passage?
Yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Okay. The resolution is adopted, and that is it for the legislation, Mayor.
Thank you. At this time, is there any old business, new business, or announcements? The mayor would just like to say that I called the new mayor, Nick Molnar over in Macedonia, and told him how I'm looking forward to work with him as being the new mayor of Macedonia. Is there anything else that anyone has today?
Hey, I don't know, the new MGM Hard Rock then nobody knows what it's gonna be. But, we gave Brock Milstein and the Hard Rock, a tax abatement, and they got new owners in there now.
Brad, do you want to explain what's going on with that, please?
I'm sorry?
I'm having Brad answer your question.
Okay.
Did you finish do you have anything else to add, finish the statement?
Well, I just wanted to know if we could renege on that deal with the new people.
The answer is no, because our agreement is with Northfield Park Associates LLC, and they remain the property owner. That company continues to own the property and the business. The way the transaction was structured, the units ownership that owns the company was transferred, but the company's still in existence. We have an agreement with that company, and the agreement remains in effect. There's different interests, controlling that company, but the agreement still remains in effect unless the business or property is transferred into some other corporate entity. And then if that happens, there's a procedure for deciding whether that's permitted or not. So.
Okay, well, the reason I mention this anyway is because Macedonia has they make you pay an entertainment fee when you go to the movie theater. And anyway, my proposal, and like I said, I don't have anything here going yet, but when the traffic comes through this town, people dump in here. I watch them do it. I watch them, they go through and they throw their trash out at the light, wherever they're at. They clean their cars out, and our town looks really, I'm gonna tell you, the Hard Rock looks, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful place, and they keep their parking lot maintained because they dump in there too. But here's the thing. I mean, you might want to shoot me down, or this might be a good idea, it might be a bad idea, but perhaps for us to put an entertainment fee on the folks coming through there, then maybe we could hire kids or people to clean up the
Mr.
trash
Chair?
that they're throwing down.
We already have an entertainment tax.
Yeah, just to clarify, we do have a admissions tax, so anybody that pays money for a concert or comedy club show, we get 3% on top of that ticket. So we're getting that, and there is a 5% parking tax on paid parking also. So.
That's not on the gambling, it's just on
Dude,
entertainment.
No, we are
it's
not allowed to
3%.
tax the gambling, but we do, if people win money over I can't remember if it's $1,200 or $1,600, I think it's $1,200 limit, or 2% income tax is taken out when they cash out the money. So that's, we do get a substantial amount of money from.
Well, thank you for that.
Brad, wasn't it lowered at one point too? I remember it being something lower with the winnings portion. Did the number go down?
It is lower than it used to be, yes. It's based on the IRS threshold.
I thought I remember hearing something like that. Anything else, Mr. Chair?
Well,
But as far as litter, if people are littering, that is, a crime, and
Yeah, we
police
have a
can
fine for that too.
cite people.
we really need to look at that, because believe it, the Northfield's got trash all over the place. And I mean, that's a big issue with me anyway. Not only the grass, but that trash all on Route 8, all around, is really an issue.
And again, I don't see a lot of littering tickets going through it, but there are some on occasion. So I think if the police do see it happening, they do cite people.
There are a few places that I do know of that collect a lot of trash. That would be the Ready Wash on Route 8. I also know behind the plaza, but they've been really good this year about keeping that clean behind the plaza. I don't really see a lot blowing around on the street at all. Does anyone else on council? Because if you do, please let me know, because I would like to get someone on it. Mr. Chair, if you do see something like that, I would appreciate it.
We could sit together at the light.
I would appreciate it if you would give me a call or give the service department a call so we can, check these areas out that do have trash all over the place. That really concerns me because that brings mice, rats, and other unwanted critters to the neighborhood. So I really appreciate that if you'd give me a call.
A lot of the places where the trash is going to, and I took pictures. I'm going to have to locate them. But a lot of the trash, after a rainstorm, a lot of it is going down into the storm sewers. A lot of it goes down there. And it's like I'm talking about full bags of McDonald's, cigarette packs. I mean, it's not just talking about just a cigarette. I'm talking about the whole pack of cigarettes, whatever bags they decide to discard. And I sat up there, and call me crazy, but I sat up there that one day and I see people, they don't care. They come through and they empty out their cars.
Well, I would like to help you on this issue. I haven't seen these places that you're talking about, but if I would like to sit down with you, I'd like you to show me these places. If you have pictures, I'd love to see them, so we can take care of the issue.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mayor, I have one last thing before we resign for the evening.
Sure.
I don't know if anybody on council has noticed or not, but the watering of the plants up and down Route 8, it involves 2 guys in the service truck and 1 police officer behind them. And it takes quite a bit of time. I personally think that we could better utilize our resource of the police department being out on the road and patrolling. With the service department, they have more than 1 vehicle to be able to have 1 guy in the back vehicle to block and 1 guy to water. It may take a few extra minutes, but I think our police department will be better served somewhere else. Just my opinion.
I appreciate your opinion. Thank you. Do I hear an adjournment?
I'd like to make a motion for adjournment.
Motion by Ms. Domzowski to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Magistrelli. All in favor?
Yes.
All opposed? We are adjourned at 8:12.